What's happening, Internet? You know me. I'm your favorite Chicagoan critic.
Nostalgia critic?
No, your favorite anime critic.
Giggig? We told you not to absorb too much of Western culture. You've turned into an American.
No, you idiot. I'm your favorite anime critic that's doing RWBY.
Oh my god, Jack! You came back to us.
God, no! Look at the tab that has the speaker icon.
Oh. It's you.
That's right, it's me, Ricardo the Cynical Critic.
I understand your initial confusion, my RWBY amigos. Denial can be a powerful hallucinogen.
First appearing more popular YouTubers aside, here we are again, guys, with another RWBY review. Now, not much happened last time, so I thought we'd have a little fun and do the recap in Limerick.
God help me.
Ahem.
Last time on RWBY, we got to see her talking to the Stooges 3. She told them of her brawl with the mysterious Cinder Fall. Oh, to what may this stranger's plan be? A white little lie than red does tell. A southeastern enemy hideout she tries to sell. She returns to her sister from another mother as a quarrel breaks out between our lovers, only for Osmond to say that they need more intel. Back with the team of the show, Ruby's sad that her lie might not have sold. So to cheer her baby sister up, from the mail, Yang shows her their pup, the Corgi's Y, to which Rooster Teeth's profits will grow. The first years are then called downstairs to the Great Hall, where they are each given a mission to shadow a huntsman. Boy, this is gonna be a ball. And our girls think so as well, but their fears Ruby does quell. She tries to tell them of the ton of the fights and battles they've won.
But with the huntsman revealed, that ain't gonna sell.
Now that I'm done with that bit, please pull up a chair to sit. It's time to start the review, so without further ado, Lakana, unroll the clip.
Never do that again.
Okay.
There's a point where it's
Are you ever gonna skip without me asking?
No.
Skip! So yeah, the highly trained huntsman that is supposed to show these girls what the defenders of Remnant will have to deal with is the same guy who freaks out when numbers start going down. Anyways, Professor Ublik explains that their mission now is just to recon the area, so they won't be needing their bags.
I packed all of our essentials myself, put on the air course, and ready the airstrip. And it's Dr. Ublik. I didn't earn the PhD for fun, thank you very much.
Yeah, except when you say doctor, most people think about a medical practitioner. That's why we call teachers like you professor, you dick.
Yes, give in to your emotions. Let the criticism flow through you.
Shut the hell up, idiot. I just don't like it when morons criticize my waifus. Like you.
Come now, children. According to my schedule, we are already 3 minutes behind schedule.
Well, alright then. Looks like we're going to save the world with Dr. Oobleck. Okay, yeah, when you say it out loud, it sounds worse. You're going on world-saving missions without us!
Ah, my ears! Okay, to save you from Nora's thrilling voice, Team Juniper's mission is to shadow a sheriff in a nearby village. What that has to do with being a huntsman, who knows, who cares, for the group is then interrupted by the gay duo, who explain that they will be following a detective. Why? Again, who knows, who cares, who gives a shit.
We normally go to the city with you guys, which means stuff's always exploding in junk.
Two occurrences do not make a pattern. They make a line.
Unless they're boobs, then they make fun time.
Well,
4 minutes, ladies.
Look, I know time moves a little differently for you, you caffeinated freak, but for us, it's only been 45 seconds!
Wish us luck.
The way Ublik explains that while he's more than capable of fighting, he prefers the intellectual side of things. To which is why he is here, as their destination is the failed city of Mountain Glen, to which was abandoned and walled off from the rest of Vale when it was overrun by Grimm.
Correct. And now it stands abandoned. It's a dark reminder.
And a likely place for a hideout.
Precisely.
Each then has a superhero landing, and the mission begins.
Ladies, you still may be students, but as of this moment, your first mission as Huntress has begun. From this point forward, you need to do exactly as I say. Do you understand?
As they prepare to head out, Ublik reminds Ruby that she didn't need to bring her backpack, as it will just slow them down, and tells her to leave it behind. When she hesitates, we see why as out pops out Zwei.
God damn it, I said no more limericks.
Sorry.
You brought a dog.
I,
Genius! Canines are historically known for their perceptive nose and heightened sense of sound, making them excellent companions for hunts such as ours.
I'm a genius.
So, what are your orders, Doctor?
As you've been informed, the southeast area has been marked as a recent hotspot for grim activity. Now, there are several possible explanations for this behavior, one of which being grim.
Oh shit, Sherlock!
What?
Grim. A creature of Grim, approximately 100 yards from us at this very moment.
What?
Again, no shit, Sherlock, you're outside the city!
Anyways, upon seeing the Beowulfs and them seeing the gang, we jump into some RWBY action as the girls cut through them. Literally.
Cover your ears, Zwei!
Zwei has no hands, RWBY, and since dogs hear better than humans, I guess that means that Zwei is gonna go deaf. Yep, the dog's running in circles. He's gone deaf.
Excellent work, girls! Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be any signs of criminal operations in this sector. Oh well, moving on.
Well, with more fights clearly in the near future, Yang expresses her disappointment and mild annoyance that Oobleck is not fighting with them. But Celery Top explains that while he searches for clues, it's technically their job to exterminate the Grimm, as they did sign up for it.
I do hope you understand that.
Well, yeah, of course.
Seeing that each girl may not be as certain as they think in the path that they've chosen, Oobleck begins to ask the girls why they chose to be huntsmen.
Tell me, Yang, why did you choose this line of work?
Well, to fight monsters and save...
Oh, that is what you do. I want to know why you do it.
The honest reason? I'm a thrill seeker. I want to travel around the world and get wrapped up in as many crazy adventures as I can. And if I help people along the way, then that's even better. It's a win-win, you know?
I see. And what about you, Blake? You seem to carry yourself with a sense of purpose.
There's too much wrong in this world to just stand by and do nothing. Inequality, corruption, someone has to stop it.
How? And you, Miss Sneak. A girl born into fame and fortune such as yourself certainly doesn't need the extra work. Why choose this over a cushy job in Atlas?
It's exactly as you said. I'm a Shnee. I have a legacy of honor to uphold. Once I realized I was capable of fighting, there was no longer a question of what I would do with my life. It was my duty.
Interesting.
We then cut to Ruby tempting Zwei with a treat on the tip of her scythe.
Wow, that sounded oddly, sexual.
Jeez, dude, don't make it weird.
Just think about it.
No, don't.
Sorry, are we ready to keep going?
No, I believe that will have to do for today. It's going to be dark soon.
Anyways, Dr. Seuss here informs Weiss, Blake, and Yang that they will be setting up camp as he and Ruby scouts the area, where the two then come across a herd of elephant Grimm, some Grimmelephants. And what does Ruby think about these beautifully somber creatures?
Let's kill it.
Yang would be proud of her little sister.
Well, Oobleck explains that the Grimm that they see are far too strong to be so easily taken down, and old enough to know better than to simply attack humans. He goes on saying that the Grimm that live long enough eventually learn, understanding that attacking humans more often lead to their own deaths, for their forces are not yet strong enough to overcome the strength that is mankind's will to survive. Simply put, as they get older, they get wiser, going from mindless monsters to the beast of shadows that man has come to fear.
Dr. Oobleck? I was wondering.
Wondering why I've been interrogating your teammates all day?
Actually, I was wondering, why did you want to become a huntsman?
Look around and tell me what you see. I see lives that could have been saved. As a huntsman, it is my job to protect the people.
Okay, while this nerd explains his reasons, is anyone else paying attention? Or are we all just watching Zwei's little feet batter around?
Aw, he's so cute. Admit it, girls. Zwei is best boy in RWBY.
I look at this wasteland and I see lives that could have been saved. But I also see an opportunity to study these ruins and learn from this tragedy, and therefore become stronger. I am a huntsman, Ruby, because there is nothing else in this world I would rather be.
We then cut to the others to see them disappointed, not only in finding nothing about the White Fang, but also in the answers they gave Oobleck, as they are unsure on just what they meant themselves.
That's not what I meant.
Huh?
Earlier. About upholding the legacy. There's more to it than that.
No, me too. I mean, I don't know. I don't know either. I know what I want to do, but I figured I'd always take things one step at a time. Well, it doesn't matter. We know why we're here. Right?
Ah, wonderful!
The Speed Demon then arrives, telling them all that they should get an early rest, for they have a long day ahead tomorrow, as RWBY volunteers for First Watch.
Hey, did Oobleck ask you why you wanted to be a huntress?
No, he didn't. Weird. Oh well, good night, guys. Don't worry. Things will be better tomorrow.
And with that somber note, our video ends.
Another close to another episode and another moment to discuss it. But before you guys think that I'm just going to criticize this one, I'll have you know, I really couldn't find much to criticize.
That's a fucking first.
Yeah, no joke, I had a hard time thinking up criticisms to talk about in this review. And this time, it's not because there wasn't much to talk about. In fact, there was a lot to talk about since this episode was rich with world building and character development. Not much plot, but unlike previous times, our focus was distracted by the moving scenes we were given.
Well, my focus is usually distracted by moving objects. What was I saying?
One such scene was their helicopter ride in, where a hint to a darker side to this world was dropped. And I'm not sure if a lot of people noticed.
We learned that yes, a city was established, but that it was also abandoned and walled off from the rest of Vale. No mention of an evacuation or if they had survivors, which shows both how dangerous the Grimm are and how cruel it is outside the city. And speaking of the Grimm, it's interesting how a slight bit more information can make them all the more terrifying. We already know that the negative emotions of man make them stronger, that they wish to destroy mankind, that they exist all over the world, and now we know that they can live for years, possibly indefinitely, so long as they aren't slain. And what's worse is that apparently they can learn.
Now, I'd like to crush a little theory about the Grimm that I've heard going around.
Just because they can learn doesn't mean that they are or ever will be sentient. Like the animals of the land, learning and adapting is something that all living things must do if they are to continue on living. Whereas sentient beings are capable of choice and empathy, being able to choose against our nature and being able to put ourselves in the shoes of others, as well as a few more things. I say this because while the Grimm can learn, it means that they will never be able to go against their desire to kill man. Those Goliaths weren't trying to live alongside humans, but as Oobleck said, were like a lioness who knew that she couldn't just attack, so instead they would wait for the right moment to strike.
Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about our girls.
Okay, so long as you leave any criticism about my waifus out of it.
The development they get this episode was wonderful, as it was mild yet very personal.
The question that Oobleck asked them of why they chose to be huntsmen is a fairly simple one that they no doubt have already asked each other. But here, thanks to what we've come to know about each girl, it sheds new light on them. Last season, we learned that the Schnee Dust Company has had its share of poor decisions in shady history. So it's likely that Weiss is trying to remedy that by doing some good in order to bring back some honor to her name. Blake has always tried to fight for what is right, but the White Fang, though their intents to be honorable, became something she couldn't stand behind anymore. Perhaps she thinks that she can make a better change if she becomes a huntress. As for Yang, I think there's more to it than just,
I'm here to help people and kick ass, and I'm all out of people to help.
Yeah, 'cause that girl will never run out of ass.
as a huntress, she will travel the world, and we already know that she's still looking for her mom. Maybe she hopes to come across another clue that may reunite them. And I just love how this was approached, as normally we would have gotten some sort of long exposition dump about their reasons and their past, all the while the elder just pushes for the answer, but no, instead Oobleck just asks them a simple question to which leaves each girl with doubt on their reasons, causing them to truly come to terms with why they chose this path. I also love Ruby's reaction to not being asked, as it's something that really isn't needed. We got her generic answer back in the very first episode, where she more or less said that she just wanted to help people. We don't need her to say,
well, my mom died, so by the laws of superhero, I must take up the cape and fight crime. I am the knight.
But I am a critic, and I do have to criticize that which I see.
Just when I thought you weren't going to irritate the fans any further.
For though it wasn't needed, it would have been nice to get some sort of reason for Ruby, not from her, but from her sister. It would have not only been a great way to better establish their bond, but for us to get a quick little history on the two, and each's reasons for wanting to follow in their parents' footsteps. I'm guessing they're going to be saving that for the next episode, along with more fleshed out answers from our girls, cause as powerful as the ones we got, that ending was surely hinting at more. However, like I said, this episode was great, cause while yes, the plot wasn't really moved forward much, with such great world building and the development we got from our girls, I can't wait for the next episode.
Hopefully the next episode not only answers some of our questions about the plot, but builds on some of the development that this one left off on. So yeah guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Ricardo, the Cynical Critic. With me, no movie's sacred, no video's safe, but all deserve a chance. I'll catch you guys next time. Toodles!